Meeting will come to order. Welcome, everybody. It's a Southwick Conservation Commission meeting, Monday, May 6th, 7 p.m. We are in hybrid at the Southwick Town Hall. In attendance tonight, we'll go around the side, Andy.
Andy Reardon, Dennis Clark,
Chris Pratt,
Mehmet Zonova, Jerry Patrick, Lucas Karen.
and welcome everyone outside. Okay. Do we have any public comment tonight?
I did have something I wanted to mention.
Okay.
Yeah. The Rotary Club and the Southwick Land Trust is having a global cleanup day on May 18th. Townwide cleanup. They're gonna meet at the Daily Grind, 9 o'clock in the morning, pass out bags, and then DPW is gonna pick up the bags later on in the day. So Conservation used to do it, clean it quite a few years ago. But glad to see somebody's doing it, and
Yeah.
hopefully we can get some volunteers.
That'd be great. Excellent.
Do you know how long that is going to last? Is there any anticipation of how many hours?
Usually it doesn't go much past 2 o'clock.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Dan.
Michelle has her hand up.
No, Michelle Pratt.
Hello, Michelle Pratt, 152 Berkshire Ave. I was just on the select board meeting listening in on the information about the LPP program. And the harbor master, the select board and Dick Reynolds from Lake Management were all talking about the LPP program and the meeting with the Suffield Select Board that occurred last Sunday, I think it was. And I was just curious as to, I was surprised nobody from Conservation Commission was on that meeting or involved in that process since it sits under this board. So I was wondering if somebody could speak to that, if people were invited, or if maybe I was on a phone, so I couldn't see all who was in person, if there was participation from this board there or not, and I guess why not?
Well, liaison, correct, Chris, with Norm, part of that?
I think we all should have had an opportunity to go and respond at the meeting, but Norm isn't around, but I don't know that he was invited either, so.
It'd be
And if
nice.
he wasn't gonna be there, somebody else should have been able to be invited. So,
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. Nobody told me anything.
And nice to hear from Norm, what his thoughts on that is.
yeah, but no one I know of was invited. And if Norm was invited, he didn't let any of us know that. So,
Do we know the context of what they were talking about? Was it about the agreement between Suffield?
there was part of it was a Suffield agreement.
Yes,
Ah,
it was the agreement with Suffield. It was in regard to the amount of money that they were going to pay. They're talking about a 5-year sliding scale. They're talking about enforcement. They proposed having a member of a Suffield individual as a member of our Conservation Commission. That was requested by Select Board Member Mall. And then Doug Moglen's response was, that Southwick might like that too, to be on theirs, because there are things that their residents have done that have affected the lake that our Conservation Commission wasn't aware of or involved with. But recognizing that they probably couldn't be voting members. So that was brought up. So a number of really important things. And then how would enforcement count? And Suffield also wants an official count of boats and docks, or something, I believe is what they said too. So yeah, it was a lengthy discussion.
I think as far as the payment agreement, I think the Conservation Commission talked about that a few months ago.
No, Norm came up with the number of boats and docks, but we
Okay.
didn't really discuss anything
Okay,
contractual.
and we don't know.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But whatever it is, it'll have to come in front of Conservation, because they are the authority. They're the ones that are running the local permitting program, good or bad, that's
yeah.
we kind of administer it, so we'll let you know.
All right, thank you, Michelle.
thank you.
All right, we're at 7:05. We'll have some time to look over the minutes of April 1st.
You don't have to look, but you have a copy of everything in the folder. That's the agenda. Thought you had a copy of the minutes. Maybe you don't.
I have two.
You have 2 copies of the minutes?
Voila.
There you go. All right.
Thank you.
All right. I'll take a motion when anyone is ready.
I have a comment
Sure.
on page 2 under 530 Brooklyn Road. The name of that association is not Congamon South Pond Association.
Okay.
It's something else, I forget.
4 Seasons.
Four Seasons something. And it's mentioned,
South Pond
right,
Association.
it's mentioned there twice and then another allusion to it a third time, so maybe we wanna put the correct name in there.
Good
We're
idea.
CSBA.
We're members of the other one,
Yeah.
Sabrina and I.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
On page 3, the Noble Steed,
Mhm.
the third line down, the installation is currently planned at poured concrete. It's supposed to be as poured concrete.
Good catch there.
How did Norm not pick that up?
I saw so little in there, I figured he had proofed it, right? It's on there.
The motion is amended.
Yep. Whenever you're ready. When anybody's ready.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second
All in favor?
that. Andy, I.
Dennis, I.
Chris, I.
Limit, I.
Jerry, I.
All right. Unanimous.
If anybody plans on speaking tonight and you haven't already signed up in the sign up sheet, just go ahead. Thank you. Okay,
Yeah, you got 5 minutes. Anything new?
there is an RDA, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to. You could say the RDA.
Yeah.
Or any of these.
Oh, yeah. Anything else new?
There's,
I don't
that's
know
a
if we
loaded
do any of
question.
And I think we'll save these for theirs after time. We could get into some longer talks.
You could rectify the donation to annual dues
We can do
for the
that.
Citizens Restoring Congamon.
Okay, so we voted on a donation to Citizens Restoring Congamon, which I guess is not proper. So we have to amend that to
So
an annual dues instead. So I'd like to make a motion that we amend that donation to be set as annual dues for Citizens Restoring Congamon.
Would that be a line item in our budget every year? Or is that gonna,
This will be just for, we'll do that, I think every year would be a new vote like we've been doing.
I'll make a motion.
Second the motion?
Chris Pratt, aye.
Movement aye.
Jerry, I.
Okay, nice habits. All right.
The 107 South Loomis Street, possible wetland violation. You're welcome, Michelle. We did get some drone footage from the police. I reviewed the drone footage and actually with, Andy was there with me.
Oh,
And it was just around the house.
okay,
So we didn't really see the
the
back
wetland
part
area,
of the property. And it's on a USB, so if you guys want to see it, I can just
okay,
move it around. And that's the update on that.
Nothing obvious or jumped out at anything. Good.
I mean, in the aerial photos, you can definitely tell that there are like trucks back there and it's within the 100-foot buffer. So, but I don't know if there's anything new. I don't know what it looks like
Hmm.
when you were doing the enforcement order.
You know, just take those trucks, been out there for quite a while.
yeah.
So that would be probably a Kyle.
It would be,
Who did the
Building.
monitor on that,
Kate.
Yeah, Kate Bednar,
that's,
did the monitoring on that, I could maybe
Mhm.
ask her. All right. Discussion on docks not completely removed from the lake. I think we can probably postpone that one for when Norm is here.
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
And just an update, Mr. Grillo has yet to contact the commission about his dock.
Hmm.
And the fine. Possible fine.
Thanks for that information.
It's 7:16.
but Jerry had an interesting, he has a
New
chapter
development.
91 dock and he
Yes.
wanted to renew it.
Yeah.
And what did they tell you, Jerry?
Well, I just made a call, just out of curiosity to see what it would take. My 30-year is over
Yeah,
from when I did it, right? And I said, what does it take to renew it? And the lady told me, well, it's already been renewed for a certain amount of years. It got extended back in 2018 for 4 years. And then because of COVID, I guess another length of time. So there's an extension of 5 years for people that have existing chapter 91 docks.
huh, that's interesting.
And I wanted to give that to Norm so he could
Update his list.
update his list
Right.
and see what's what, because there are a couple that are expiring this year.
Right.
Soon after, you know.
That we think are expiring.
They didn't really come out and send you a letter and tell you that. They had to let you
No
stumble on it by
notification.
accident.
Mm,
That's how I found out.
Okay, we are ready to move ahead with our agenda at 7:15. We're gonna go along with our NOI on 55 Foster Road. The Suffolk Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing under the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Law C, 131 and section 40 of the Southwick Conservation Commission Regulation and Bylaw, chapter 182 and chapter 450 for notice of intent, the hybrid meeting, Zoom and in person. The project location, 55 Foster Road. The proposed project is for the construction of a single-family home within the river front and buffer area and bordering vegetated wetlands. Who do we have for that? You can just state your name and
Good evening.
address.
Yeah, my name, Anatoly Avdichuk. My address 23 Jones Way, Springfield.
Okay,
So I am the applicant for, 55 Foster Road.
all right. Can share your plans with us.
There's a bigger. Minor colors that are up on the screen.
Excuse me, do you have a wetland consultant, but he's not here tonight, or they're not here, or they're not?
No, I have the consultant who helped me, who did the wetland delineation, and also he did, wetland report, and, he did, alternative analysis. Did you receive that I sent you?
The what analysis?
Alternative analysis,
Oh, he did?
yeah.
Oh, I did not get that.
So this is the one.
When
I-
did you send this?
I sent you this morning. He
This
said,
morning?
yeah,
Oh, no, I didn't.
So Heritage is not representing you, you're just using them for
yeah,
specific
because,
portions of this?
yeah, because he is very busy and that could be months from now.
Make it a
So,
little more complicated for us to not be able to deal with your consultant.
Now, sometimes we need to ask questions.
yeah, since, this is the second time I doing it, so,
Yeah, we understand.
yeah, so, I just,
It gets pretty complicated, especially a situation like this, that,
yeah,
really
we'll,
needs some
see,
technical
we'll
expertise
try.
to get through all the different,
yeah, he write everything in the analysis, alternative.
Can't read it.
Huh?
I can't read it.
Yeah,
The copies are not good.
well, you have an email.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna try to pop on my email. I'm just nervous.
zoning board of appeals,
Yep, that
here,
too.
here. If he wants it.
Oh,
That's because we had some
Wonderful.
questions about the
Yeah.
setback. I'm not sure if they
Yes,
granted it or not. No, it wasn't granted.
not yet.
You wanna,
We wanted to have more, I wanted to see what we started to do, so we feel strong, that this matters more than what we're doing.
so it could go back to you. It hasn't, okay.
We continued ours.
Oh, thank you.
For this purpose.
I'm sorry,
Thank you.
sir. Who are you?
William Leslie Claus Anderson, Vice Chair of DBA.
Thank you.
sign.
I'm just trying to go over the comments from the DEP comments. that-
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys,
One of
you
the-
guys. You have them if you want to. Well, I
This is the hard copy, the recent plan, which is, I sent you. All right.
Let's see what I've got.
Well, and we just have them present it and then,
Yeah.
you know, go do your best to present it. So,
Yeah, so, I think everyone familiar with this, so, and as I understand and, how much I understand, so we, as maximum we can do because the most of the area is covered with riverfront, except 900 square feet. So when we proposing to alter 5,000 square feet. So as you see on the plan, so with the left front corner of the lot, so this is the best what we can do.
so you don't have the limit of grading or limit of lawn area on here, so we don't know.
Yeah, you have over here there's the contour limit of work. I think you can
Down here.
you can take
Is that the contour now or contour after grading?
you can take a look on.
They're
on-
taken from the
on-
GIS map, so that
So this is
Existing.
the existing,
Yeah,
but
so.
we don't know what you're going to do to alter the land within that area.
Yeah, so we have only existing topography from the from the GIS, and this morning, the engineer who doing the septic design, they did the topo this morning, and he sent me the design, which is unfinished, but
Is it this one that it's in my email?
yeah, so this one, right?
Yeah, I got that in the email, but I didn't get the alternatives. I didn't get that.
You didn't get it?
No,
I don't know who
that's
you
just
sent it to.
proposed design. It's not,
No, that's not, just not finished because, what we proposed on the plan. After he did the topo and they recognized this very slope on the front. And he need to redesign the septic, system. So when he was, asking, if basically we have to move a house little backwards. He was saying maybe 5 feet or 10 feet, so make the house smaller, so we need, basically we need on the front more space for the septic
So
system.
you have a 40-foot setback at this point on the
Yes.
plan,
Mhm.
but you don't have that approved, it's 50-foot. Is what it is.
75 foot.
75, yeah, that's not approved because they,
This plan is until
right,
this whole thing would be shifted back, so it'd be a lot more square footage if it doesn't get approved by
so
the
we can't
ZBA.
approve this.
Well, this plan, no, and this can't.
yeah, because the Board of Appeal, they would like to see what you will say. Basically, I'm not gonna ask more variances. I need only 40 feet. Because we will not have enough space for the septic.
I mean, if you
So-
had one plan showing it 75 feet setback, it would show how much disturbance it would be for that, and then the other plan with 40 feet, you'd be able to compare the differences, you know, how much of a difference it'll make in alteration. And it really doesn't show yard area here, so I mean, I don't
No,
know what this,
I don't know which plan you're looking at.
let me see what you got there.
So this is the,
What's the date on that? May
Yeah,
3rd, they have
uh,
the May 3rd map, that's the last revision.
yeah, so you can, take this one.
No, it's the other.
It's underneath the driveway.
Very similar there.
It's in the front,
Very similar.
under the driveway.
Guys, can you guys, take this one?
In the front under, so this is the driveway,
This
and
is the
then
most
there's a couple of squares that they proposed.
What's the scale, 1 to 20?
So even on the plan up on the screen, it says proposed reserve, proposed septic. And then this is the proposed driveway, it's that gray line. Right
Yeah.
here.
It's hard to read.
Yeah, so just takes a minute for Jenna.
Mm.
I did, well, actually, no, this wouldn't be.
No, you can take this one.
It's, yeah, it's under the driveway.
So,
I can see the proposed septic.
yeah, proposed septic, and, this was the original, but today he was, that's what he did this morning, he changed it.
Mhm.
Because there is the, bigger slope on the front than he anticipated. And he changed it, the layout of Sep Litchfield gonna be
Better.
here and the preserved area gonna be on the front.
It's lower.
Yeah.
It's like up and then down.
But he not finished it yet. So when you see those pink lines,
Oh,
that is the
Yeah,
current gradient.
Okay,
Sure.
But he say it's possible to do the septic system on the front. And he was saying maybe we will need to push house back maybe 5 feet or so. So,
Do you have town water supplied here?
yes.
So it is town water.
So basically we will have to make the house narrower, like 30 feet, or make the backyard smaller. To have those, to fit in the 5,000 square feet alteration.
Out the backyard's about 20 feet.
Yeah, so,
So the,
yeah, and also, Sabrina was asking, there is a notes about the, perimeter of the limit of work. And there is the note, we will, trim the trees which is, outside of the,
Mm.
um,
and I'm like circling that tree right now.
Is
It's
this like
note
a,
7.
is this like a 2-story, 3-bedroom house or?
yeah, there's gonna be 3 better because we cannot put the bigger septic system in there, so that's why we limited to 3 bedroom.
Okay, 3 bed.
In my mind, the only way this could possibly get approved is with the variance.
Yeah,
So-
that's right. That's for sure.
It's such a tight
Mhm.
area that without having that
Yeah, because
variance,
75 feet
you're
is
gonna be
behind, it's
into the.
behind the
100-foot
house.
area.
Yeah.
Even with the variance, it's tight.
Even with a variance, it's tight,
Mhm.
but without a variance, I don't think it's possible.
If you look at the
Just
north
thinking,
wall,
I
there's
would say
5,
it's not.
Yeah,
5 feet
that's-
between the house and the limit of work on the north side. That's pretty tight. But he did put, in the plan, concrete bounds to be set to, I am assuming to limit or to indicate the limit of
Yeah.
work. That would be permanent. But encroachment would be an issue, I think, in the future.
Yeah. We
Definitely
usually
need
put
to-
monuments or things, big
He's
rock.
got monuments on the plan
Yeah.
here. We definitely need the site visit on this one for sure.
Mm,
Yeah, I forgot about that, so I knew that we should
Yeah.
do that before meeting, right, but.
I comment?
Mr. List,
Why
sure.
don't you come on up, Richie?
Well, that plan, we went over. On this, you got 5,000 square feet,
max,
you have 5 feet here. Then you can't disrupt anything.
exactly,
Right.
I don't see how you can do anything.
right.
5 feet, even if the variance was there, for one. But two, more importantly, I don't believe you should even talk to the Mr. Fuller. He doesn't own the property yet.
He's,
He has a purchase and sale contingent on this.
yeah,
But our board, we need a letter of saying from the owner, you can act on our behalf, but she hasn't produced.
Well, there's an electronic signature on the notice of intent from the,
No, there is the actual.
and I have
signature.
the owners there,
Oh, you're the owner, you're giving
yeah,
the action?
yeah,
Okay, we didn't see that last time.
and I,
Okay,
yeah, I have the
But
both signatures,
Yes.
right?
That
Yeah, you have
5
the
foot,
copy
for
with
one,
the-
and in the back corner, you're on the buffer. That's with the variance.
Correct.
And right here. It's
It's,
peaceful.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I don't see
There's
the,
no yard,
Yeah.
there's nowhere, and then you can't go forward because of leach field and septic tank. I just didn't see a reason how this could even plug in. from the
that's what
ZBA.
I'm saying. It's,
No, we have.
even with the variance, it's gonna
There's no,
be,
there's no hardship presented other than the fact that we can't put the house there. Yeah, yeah,
We have the
Correct.
owner who has the hardship, I don't have the hardship.
I've had that property for 50 years,
right.
and my intention was to be retired
Yep.
and to be able to sell it. I can't sell it if we can't build on it.
Understood, but sometimes in life presents itself as with the zoning that's pertinent on our books.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Ma'am?
ma'am.
Is very evasive.
I'm Patricia.
You guys haven't been there?
not
no,
yet.
we're talking about going there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just discussing.
Pictures that I did.
And you were.
To illustrate. This was the back corner of that lawn. You can see where it drops off, that pine, the leaves are the back of the house.
Signed it, she's the owner of the property, and she signed in.
That's one post for the foundation. This is the front of the lot looking down, so there's a huge decline there too. So you literally have a plateau about half the size of this room.
Yeah, so that one is.
No yard, and it's a slope and it's in the wetland.
so there would be grading involved.
Oh, yeah.
with the-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But
We
we don't
have to
have,
see that on
yeah,
the plan.
we don't have any grading on the plan at all.
right.
No, not yet.
That's why we were just like,
Mhm.
I mean, we can't really continue.
right.
But we can continue.
And you can keep those.
We
I
can
haven't worked-
continue later, but not
can do it.
tonight.
Just continue this.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to continue it because if the zoning board doesn't approve it, then you're gonna have to come back with another plan.
Right.
With even more encroachment on it.
Right,
Yeah, and like I said, the 20 feet behind the house, what you proposing is almost flat. it's a little slope, it's not like.
We'll have to go judge it on site.
Yeah, we have to
Could you get
visit
your
it.
consultant to come to the next meeting? Could you ask
Yeah.
Heritage to come represent you? Cause we have some technical questions and we,
And I'd like to,
they do this for a living, you know, that's what they,
Mhm.
Mhm.
tight situations, they might be able to explain to us how this could work.
Mhm.
You really need to have that expertise here.
right, but not being to the property. I don't, looking at the map,
Yeah,
doesn't look like,
I just was driving here, it reminded me that we have to visit to the site before the
Yeah.
meeting. But no, nobody mentioned
all
that.
we have on here is existing grade. We don't see what the disturbance will actually be.
Mhm.
Is there anybody else here for the?
Is there anybody else here for this hearing? Okay,
So you
Yeah,
ask
so
for a
we
continuance
should
and
continue and
we will,
before next meeting, we will have the
and have your
septic
consultant.
design.
get in touch and we'll tell them what we're looking for.
in the meantime, should we do a site visit just to look at the property?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, this-
Fine with me.
Do you want his consultant on site? Think that would be good at this point or
What's
wait,
that? The consultant on site?
at this first initial? or-
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great idea.
Is that way we might get some answers on site and then maybe also
Mhm. Yeah, maybe if
see what the
you,
thinking.
if you review all the documents which I supply, provide with the NOI, I think this will be better understandable.
Property.
Ma'am,
So is there any chance for her to be able to save like her problems or? She definitely. Well, this part of like to, would like to sell the property.
Yeah.
I've been paying taxes on this property for a long time. I'm paying taxes as, a building on. And I mean, I have no guidelines as how big of a house can they put? I came forward before.
Right.
Five thousand, I think I realized 5,000 square feet there. So, I mean,
well, it could be 10% of the lot or 5,000, whichever is larger. Right,
5,000 larger.
5,000 in this case would be larger because this lot is
Yeah.
smaller.
But
So,
it's up to 5,000.
Yeah.
It has to be, so
no,
that's why we need to have the consultant to,
Well, can someone on that, even if he came in and said, I want to build a 900 square foot house,
No, that's,
can he build a smaller house? I mean, not
No.
necessarily.
well, that would,
People can
yeah,
do
that
whatever they
that could
want.
be an option, yeah,
Yeah.
and definitely, yeah, I mean, that's,
Any houses, is there any kind of a?
you'd have to check with the building department, I'm
Yeah.
not sure if there is.
Yeah,
We did, and they don't have, they don't know anything about it, not answered yet.
It's just-
So, I mean, she does have a hardship.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
well-
value of the property states $73,000. We've been trying to sell it.
Yeah,
for
But
over a
we
year.
don't have any judgment on that. All we can do is look at the plan that he has and see what he wants to build. And we're determining that situation, not whether it's buildable lot or not. We're not gonna say it's not a buildable lot. We'll say this project,
Consultant might come
Might
back
not
and
work.
say, well, I redesigned it in this manner, how does this work for you? And, you know, that's how it works, and go back and forth on it. But I really think it's necessary to have a variance to be able to do anything. on the
Yeah.
Property. Cause it could be denied without having a variance.
right?
Site visit?
Okay. Is there anybody that can make a site visit? And we can have the afternoon now. I think we have enough light in the afternoon to
Mhm.
do that. It opens up some possibilities.
yeah, this definitely will help.
We should find out when the consultant can make it also.
Why don't we do that? Can you check with your consultant to see when he might be available for a site visit? Give us like 3 times, 3 dates. So that we can
Yeah,
meet him out there on site.
yeah, we can do that.
Okay,
Would that be, what would be a good time for you guys? Like 4:30, 5 o'clock?
4:30.
If you could
Anybody
do
else?
something like
can
that.
anybody make it 4:30? Too early? Too late? What time?
I'll get out to like 6, something. No, forget it.
I'm good.
You're good?
I'm good.
You and I were,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so yes, 4:30.
4:30 any day?
Well, not,
Can you not do Wednesdays?
Well, let's find out what day the consultant's available.
Yeah,
yeah,
find out what day your consultant can make it, and then
we'll try to make his schedule probably
No.
busier than what we have.
Yeah, I will check with him
Check
and
with him.
we'll get back to Sabrina.
All right.
We
Try
wanna work
sending
with
those
you on this,
alternatives
so-
again, 'cause I didn't get them.
Yeah, okay, I will do it.
And you have a continuance? We'll have to vote on a continuance,
Yeah,
Vote to accept the continuance, the request.
a request for continuance, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve the continuance for this project.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Andy, I.
and aside.
Chris, I.
Jerry, I.
I'm sorry, who seconded it?
And we'll just go to the next meeting, hopefully, and if not, we'll amend from there.
Yeah, next meeting is May 20th.
Uh-huh.
May 20th, so we'll put that on the form.
All
And
in
if there's not, then it's drawn up by then we can push the continuance off. If your person is,
No, I think before that we will get the septic design, because we just
yeah,
did
we
that.
also need some firmer plans with
Yeah.
how the lot will change.
Mhm.
Okay.
No, yes, do this.
Next week. You got continuance for next week.
No, to the next meeting. Oh, for yours,
Right.
sorry.
So, I don't know, got a consultant, if you get that time, you'd like to see that feedback.
Sure. Would you like, would you think you can make a,
I would have to continue again for, you know what I mean?
correct, would you like to come to the site visit if we have one? Would you like to be aware? And
Could be if another time.
well, we're trying for 4:30, but we don't know what date. He's gonna check with his consultant and we can let you know. All right,
Somebody from our board.
Yeah, well-
Just gonna deal with it.
right, whatever. Yeah, I think it's good that you would be involved, yeah.
Thank you for coming down.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right,
Thank you.
sure enough.
See you.
Thank you. Okay.
I need.
Chris, you got my email?
No,
I
Sabrina
have,
probably
I
had
have Chris's, so I'll just contact him.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure enough. Thank you.
What's next? Iroquois.
Okay. 7:20, we're past there, so we're good. 34 Iroquois. Proposed removal and replacement of concrete wall, stairs and patio in addition to a new.
Yeah, the plan that we have, the plan over to the one that we showed, that we have on this one, the records.
Okay, the Southwick Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing under the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Law C 131 and Section 40 of the Southwick Conservation Commission's regulations and bylaw, Chapter 182 and Chapter 450 for notice of intent via hybrid meeting, Zoom and in person. The project location, 34 Iroquois Drive. The proposed project is for removal and replacement of concrete walls, stairs, and patio. In addition to the installation of a new paver walkway along the side of the house. The work is located within 100 foot of Lake Congamon and within the 100-year floodplain. And welcome.
So my name's Richard Zito Jr. with the Green Machine. I don't know how much you want me to go over from
Did
last
anything
time.
change from the last plan for the RDA that you had? Is any changes from that?
No,
Those, what you presented last
Yeah.
time, but in the form of a notice of intent?
yeah, basically.
He mentioned the company.
Extensions, yeah.
That one.
I did the math for doing that patio expansion and then what material we'll be removing to basically net zero.
Okay. But you can explain that part of it. Would be nice because that wasn't in the minutes, I didn't believe, of the first.
On page number
20.
20. Yes.
Yeah, you can put them with this file.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
about the existing wall being 24 feet long, 6 feet tall, and then now we're proposing to do a lower wall, 24 feet long, only 4.5 feet tall, and then 3 feet behind it, 24 feet long, 28 inches tall. And then with the new patio space, 20 feet long, 10 feet out, and then that wall, the upper wall, the 28-inch wall, it's basically creating that triangle material, which worked out to 180.9 cubic feet of new base material. We'll have to bring in to backfill the wall and put the patio on. So proposing with the granite steps existing on site. There's like a big massive 5x5 pad with a 4x4 pad on top of it is where the stairs end now. So we're just gonna remove that because the plan is just to install the new granite steps. They're all gonna be 4 feet long by 13 inches deep by 7.5 inch rise. So we won't need to have a very large concrete pad. And then to help, that wasn't the total for the material. We're also gonna remove some site on some soils on the existing concrete wall that's gonna remain to basically make up for the compensation. So in that area would be 24 feet long by, or no, sorry, that's what the wall is, the area that's gonna be removed.
26 inches long, 5 feet wide, 12 inches deep.
Yes. And then so that works out, the 29.9 cubic feet added to the 55.9 cubic feet from the concrete landing, brings you to the 85.8, so just a hair more. But besides that, the layout of what we went over was the same.
So the DEP issued a file number, even though they say it's information's incorrect.
Yeah, looks like it.
Did you see the comments?
I read them on the email that we got from Mark.
You guys all have his comments.
So did you
You do.
actually go out there and take
They're- they're-
measurements of everything as far as the floodplain and is he, what he's
Yeah,
saying is
he-
that it's
He
from
was,
looking at the maps, you really can't determine what you're compensating for.
I think he said you just can't overlay the floodplain map on a site map. It sounded like he was calling out from the
More to
map.
show how much land is probably in. Yeah, it's like probably not all. That whole thing's probably not floodplain, I mean, with the houses and everything.
Right, and that's what, I didn't think it was, but in Mark's comments, he said they were.
There's the
He said the
FEMA
whole
flood
project.
map. You gave us
Yeah, on page 4.
4, and you have a copy of that in that packet as well. That one,
I mean, it shows pretty much the whole house, not the whole lot.
right?
Right.
And then our whole working area.
It looks like the
being in
same,
Flood zone.
what is on the South Lake GIS. It's the same. What is he saying?
So the floodplain is at 229, is that correct? Jerry? You know,
What's the nominal height? 226?
I thought it,
226 to 27.
So it's,
It says 229.
that's 229 for the 100-year floodplain.
The bordering land subject to flooding elevation appears to
It says
be
it kind of covers the whole house.
9 feet using NAV 88 datum, but I don't think this is.
I want to say 229 was probably the extent of it.
the docs are local permitting program that are shown there, is that one of his questions?
That was, but I don't know how.
They
Something to do with the
because the owner just came in the other day to drop off the
paperwork.
applications.
I mean, the only way you're actually gonna be able to figure it out is to shoot an elevation out there, right?
But even if it was all in within the floodplain, there's no net gain of material, right? I mean,
Yeah, from what we're supposed to take out.
So there's no net gain, so
because I mean, even if it is all in, there's no net gain of material that he's bringing into the site.
right,
It's gonna be the same.
It's just the
Right.
So I don't see why it really matters if we determine what the floodplain line
if he was
is.
taking a portion of the hill out over here and putting it back over there, then that would.
You're not
you'd need to
adding
know
anything to the
what the
floodplain.
elevation for was where you're taking it out, but if you're it's in kind. I mean,
Right.
I agree with Chris.
Even if we pretended or knew that it all was within the floodplain, which
Can we not build
It
in
is.
the floodplain or what are the
you
restrictions?
can, but you have to have compensatory storage, so you would have to remove material from the floodplain area on your property. Or pay someone else to, from their property,
In place?
in place. In that same amount of volume. That you're adding
From
to
the
your
same
property.
elevation.
What if it covers your whole house?
Well, they're not working on the house.
Yeah,
so
they're just,
we're just talking about where they're actually doing the work.
I see. Okay,
We've come across it with the seawalls, where the engineers then have to.
all right.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
And then we end up having to basically make these beach areas and people are like, oh, it's a cool design. It's like, well, you had to have it.
yeah.
So if they're not adding any fill,
Well, and I did go on the site visit with, Norm
Hmm.
and Sabrina. And, you know, I got some good eyes on the, proposed project. And it looked pretty sound. I mean, the walls caving, I mean, it's
oh, I'm
not like it
I'm
doesn't
sure
need
you
to
guys
get
went out and
done.
looked at it and everything.
I think
yeah.
it'll, you know, it'll not just enhance the looks of it, but I think it
Well,
will
the
also
plan looked good
protect.
to me last time we brought it in. It's just,
So I'm not really too concerned about the floodplain level because the numbers, as far as the volume of materials works out.
In the NOI, it says the size of proposed it's up there. Proposed alteration is 336 square feet and then the replacement is 166. I don't understand that.
That's not the volume, though. That's
The
the,
cubic feet is the volume.
Yeah,
Right below it, 180.
yeah, that's,
185.
So, and so that's down here is what's important. Okay,
that's just the proposed area where you're working at on the square footage.
got it.
is there anything you want to put into the order of conditions, Sabrina, if we did vote on this? Other than the standard order of
I mean,
conditions?
we have the silt fence we talked about on site. And that's on the plan.
Yeah, the slate fence.
And the, size of the machinery is gonna be the smaller.
Yeah, everything's under 10,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And the standard bond amount? Do you think I need
Right,
that?
gotta think about the bond.
Suppose anything on the water?
I would think, you know, just. Keep it consistent. Much as anything.
I'd be willing to make a motion if you're looking for
All
one.
right. We have to close the hearing first.
Oh.
It's been a while. I'll take a motion and close the hearing.
Move to close it, the hearing?
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Andy, I.
Dennis, I.
Chris, I.
Jerry, I.
Okay. Now I'll take a motion, Dennis.
I'd make a motion to approve the projects, with the regular conditions and a $10,000 bond.
Okay, I'll second.
Second.
Too late. All in favor?
Andy, I.
Dennis, I.
Chris, I.
Jerry, I.
All right.
That paperwork ready for you.
Okay. Thank you.
And then maybe
Number of days before you can.
10, I believe.
we have to wait for the appeal.
Right.
The appeal, yeah,
10 days.
business days, minus holidays.
Okay.
Good clarification.
Appreciate everybody for their time.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm. There it is.
So much paper.
They thought there's probably when they issued a file number on it.
Right. Okay, we do have an RDA, 15 North Pond Road. The Southwick Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Law C 131, Section 40, and the Southwick Conservation Commission Regulations and Bylaw, Chapter 182, and Chapter 450 for request for determination. The project location is 15 North Pond Road. The proposed project for an addition to existing steps, the retaining wall on either side of the stairs, the excavation of a flattened area with stone. All work is within the 100-foot buffer zone of Lake Congamon. All right. Come on up. Just state your name and
Andy Hartley from Wyben Construction. Proposing to add to those steps that we put in last year, put a flat area in, wall on either side of the step to retain it. And just have a stone area. Towards a flatter area.
in there, I saw.
It
It's in here.
wasn't. Or,
Well, I got to it.
took me all day to do.
All right, it's okay. I put it over here.
I don't know. what you- Here,
Okay.
just have mine.
No, wait here.
No, it's not.
That's not it.
Nope, it looks like. The request. It's the application.
Take it.
Mm. There it is. And then in the back. It's,
Thank you, ma'am.
you're welcome.
It's a little confusing. We have this original plans here.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, not the original plans that were there.
It's
Utilize
already been
them.
done. It's not proposed anymore.
Right, right.
So just some changes, modifications.
That's it. We just want to add 3 more steps to the existing steps that we put in last year. Put a retaining wall on each side of the steps, make a flat area with stone. Put a hay wall all around it to prevent any erosion or anything like that.
Do you wanna like highlight any of the work or?
So this order of conditions has been, closed out. It's been, compliance has been issued on it.
Don't remember.
You gotta remember, because if it's still open, then we'd have to do a modification to that. Do you know, Dan, if this got
You
a
would
certificate
know.
of compliance?
It was closed down last year.
It's closed out, it's got, done, okay, good.
All we're doing is putting in a small pad for the gazebo. That's all, we had to add 2 steps.
I'm sorry, can you identify yourself and give me your address?
You're dealing with 15 North Pond Road.
Thank you.
Area with stone.
I think you checked off the wrong boxes on the request for determination.
Yeah.
You can check off whether it's done under the Suffolk wetland bylaw. You're really not asking us to determine the boundaries of the resource area. That was already done.
So the stone area is up the hill from,
Yes,
The
up
lake?
the hill from the, yeah, from the lake, yes.
and how are you proposing to do the work in that area?
Yeah, come in from side the house,
Mhm.
drive in like we did last year, drive in, get to this area, do the work, and go out the same way. We're not going anywhere else anywhere in the vicinity of this whatsoever, just coming in, doing this, so we can set the steps with the machine. And put the wall in, flatten it out.
So rented determination, Sabrina, would be whether the activities and whether it's under Suffolk bylaw, so
He's got mine, sorry.
A and D.
So the corner of your stone area will be about 16 feet or so from the water.
should be, yeah, from the back corner, from here. Yeah, it goes up, it's more than that, because it's 10 from here. Right at this area down to the water where the patio is, there's the steps that come down to the. Right down to there, so we're looking at probably, I think 20, I think it was 20 feet from there.
Okay,
The water is up 50.
Yeah, and then the water from this point here is like
To that
50
corner,
feet,
right.
yeah.
from the closest point is where it measures. from.
Yeah, that's where you measure from, yes, yes.
Okay,
And there's all mulch and trees and everything on between the water and the area we're gonna work.
mhm,
So it's just gonna be stone, it's not gonna be poured concrete?
No. Just stone.
yeah, so pervious is good.
Yep.
You said A and B, Dennis,
A and D,
and A and D.
do the work, right? Wait a second. No, not A and D, do the.
Well, jurisdiction of municipality, right? So that would be D,
D up and the activities C. It'll be C and D,
C to D.
sorry.
Do you mind if I write on the original? application?
That's fine, yes.
I mean, anybody have any comments or concerns or? There we go.
Discussion.
Is this like a pea stone or like?
3/4 stone, 3/4 stone, so it's, water will go right through it, no
Right.
problem.
Right.
Right into the sand that's there, be no problem whatsoever.
So this would be. This corner of the house there.
Yeah, so it's like that. Which is the existing 2 steps, and then they want to add a couple steps, make sure the steps are added. Yeah, right, it's just like that.
I don't see that being a problem.
Yeah,
That one, I think, they're just.
Right. Because you guys still-
That's said to be raised, yeah,
Yeah, raised.
you're raising that little one, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
there's already a wall above, right below where the patio is, there is a wall already with the steps that are there.
Right.
So we're just gonna go up higher with the steps, put another wall in, and then make a flatter area.
Right.
Put stone in, that's it,
and just removing one tree.
no trees, this stuff's all, this was before,
Oh, that
this was done,
That was already
that
done.
was all
Okay.
done. So there's nothing here except grass right now.
All right,
Your driveway's going down
Yeah,
this way. Who was that, really hard one to get to then?
Right.
This is his house.
Right.
Yeah.
So the 2 steps that are there now, just dump onto the grass, you come off.
That goes onto a patio that's right there. There's a patio right here.
Right.
There's 2 steps. Yeah, when you go up, you step right on that grass, correct?
This is kind of a close up, and you can see the pitch on.
And Dennis, could I say something? The reason for it is because the lot next door, the water's just running straight down, it's washing out that area.
Still,
So if we make it flat, see, all the hay they put down is gone, so all that whole mountain is going into the
still
lake.
washing into the lake,
Washing down the barrel.
there's a little help that, there's all that.
Yeah.
Serious pitch on it, yeah.
Right now. So, putting the stone there, we could prevent the erosion coming out of number 13.
That makes it even more. appealing.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to make a motion,
all right.
if anybody's got, unless anybody's got. more
Anybody else have
questions.
any more discussion?
The pitch on that thing, yeah.
Okay,
Was hanging out the trees walking down that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, the lot next door. My
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
that's ridiculous.
I'll make a motion to find a negative.
I'll second. All in favor?
Andy, I.
Dennis, I.
Chris, I.
I'm an eye. Jerry, I.
Okay,
All right. Thank you.
thank you.
I'll write that up and I'll have him sign it and you'll get it. in the mail.
All right, and I'll give back your plan and the marker.
Yeah.
Did you guys do some work on North Pond recently?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, that was. nice.
yeah, yeah,
Very good.
quite a bit in those area, that area right there is pretty good.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you, thank you.
Take care, good night.
You too.
Let me know when you're.
I didn't do it.
So,
It was easier when you sat next to me.
I can go over there.
I'm
I don't
just
need
saying.
to. I'll happily go
Plenty
off
of
to
room
the
here.
side and
I
sort of
think-
like
I think-
here.
She doesn't want any part of us.
She doesn't.
Okay,
Um,
gonna move on to some new business. Request for partial certificate of compliance, 28 Noble Steed.
yeah, and you guys have, I think you have a packet. Maybe you don't.
I have lots of packets.
You do not.
These guys are-
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he's here. But I did a site visit on April 16th. Dwight Scott was present at the site visit. And the area is mostly stable. The grass is taken except for one little spot, which is right here.
God, that looks familiar.
Yeah. Oh, Matt, you might want to recuse yourself from this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I should.
You want to do
I'll
that?
be back.
Okay, so
With the changing hands.
he's buying the property.
See ya.
So he's recusing himself from this vote.
I'll be over
there.
You guys.
We have-
call me.
Have a nice time.
Wait, yes, we have
We have
enough
enough.
people.
We have enough.
Thank you, my man.
Yeah. Did I say anything else? Oh, interestingly, I didn't realize that most of the lots at Noble Steed are still under the mother NLI.
Yeah,
So this is one of them, obviously. I didn't even,
so what was your opinion on releasing it?
I say release it. There is some additional vegetation that's been planted. We asked them last year. They complied. There's a silt fence up. It's doing its job. Unless you guys have an issue with this spot right here.
Well, that's hay and I'm sure there's grass seed underneath.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll take eventually.
No,
Yeah.
it sounds like they're in good shape and you're happy with it. I'm happy with it.
I'm happy with it.
Okay. Take a motion and a partial certificate of compliance.
Move to allow a partial certificate of compliance.
Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Andy seconds. All in favor?
Andy, I.
Dennis, I.
Chris, I.
Jerry, I.
All right.
Now, Matt, you can come back. It was accepted.
Huh?
It was accepted.
Yeah. I think I read it.
You
Sent it out.
You know,
We release you. Okay, nomination of erosion control monitor, project manager, Tom McNaughton, change of erosion control material, 3 Loomis Street.
So 3
Update on
Loomis
that.
Street. I did pre-construction site visit on the 18th of April. And they changed the silt fence to straw wattles with the recommendation from Arlevac. And I believe you have that. No, you don't have that letter, but I have that letter available. Actually, it's right here. What am I talking about?
There it is.
I don't know if you want to read it or move on, but I gave the okay to start the project on that day. They had their bond all set. The order conditions was recorded at the Registry of Deeds. Their DEP sign was up. Everything looked good.
Okay. Discussion, more dividing subdivision, comments for planning board.
So we gotta approve of the monitor, Mr.
Oh,
McDonald.
did we? Yeah. Oh. So that's the change also, not just a,
Well, they changed from bales to wattles.
That was the change,
Yeah.
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 From silt fence to a lot.
And it looks good, Sabrina?
Yeah.
Okay.
There isn't a very big slope. It's basically flat, so.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve the erosion control monitor. Just to get that one.
Second.
Check.
Too late.
Did you second
I did.
it? Yeah, you did.
Jeez.
All in favor?
Andy, I.
Dennis, I.
Chris, I.
I'm out.
Jerry, I.
All right.
Okay. Next. I have more writing subdivision.
Okay, discuss Mort Vining subdivision comments for planning board.
So this subdivision's finally going in front of the planning board. And the planning board had requested any comments that the Conservation Commission had with those plans to be sent off to them.
Can we put in about the precast culvert?
You want to comment about that?
I think it's
Yeah.
a good idea, yeah.
Precast culvert.
That could be a potential disaster. Most places are precast. What was the reason that they didn't?
So you want the precast culvert?
Yeah, definitely if it's possible, it's better off with not pouring concrete on a site, with
Especially in the water.
Putting forms in and taking forms out as compared to just craning the piece into being done.
yeah, it's.
I did talk with John this morning about that crossing, and there was talk of enlarging the culvert pipe and bringing the grade down, so it would be partially buried in
Yeah.
that sense. So that
That makes sense, yeah.
is an option as well. Do you want to make a comment about that?
I would comment that I would defer to the engineering recommendations.
Best practices.
Strongly suggest a precast.
Okay. I think Randy was strongly
Sure, Randy
suggesting that as
favor
well.
that.
Yeah. Anything else on that?
I looked at I sent you the plan that the planning board received and, I think our old plan, and I looked at it, it looks relatively the same. I didn't really see any big differences. At least for our, what we really care about, so. In our jurisdiction, not care,
Right.
in our jurisdiction.
In Ireland.
We care about everything.
It's good that you're current, we're making progress on that anyway, so
Yeah,
I'd like to see that completed sooner than later.
we're just approved.
Okay, I'll move on to 8 Rising Corner, possible wetland violation. Been by there several times myself. There seems to be a lot more ponding at the bottom of the hill there.
Thank you so much for
It's like
coming.
Partially filled.
My joy. So I have some pictures for the group, this morning. Serge, Zubkov from 8 Rising Corner Road or 891 Berry Street. It's the one and the same.
Whichever half the house you're in.
Yeah. You guys can look through these. So the area is dry as of today. We had 1/4 inch per hour for the last 8 hours on Saturday. And as of this morning, you can look through the pictures if you want. I have no water in that area. I know there's some water in the base still, but that is. I think the issue with that is there's always gonna be water there, and I'll tell you why. Right across the street, and I have pictures as well on a flash drive if you would like them.
Be care if the water is there. The water isn't the problem. We like water. It's the dirt that gets.
So I have some additional information to that as well. The dirt that's in there is a desperate effort to basically. So over the winter, there was a car accident, and it's because the water rose up high enough where it flowed on the road. Now, all that area is Agawam. And the DPW from Southwick was there. I said, guys, what are we gonna do about this? And they said, no, that's Agawam. They turned around and drove away. So talking with Agawam, what can we do? They brought in an 18,000 gallon pump truck we had some historic flooding this year, especially during the winter. They pumped out 3 trucks, and when that wasn't enough, they basically took 2 pumps simultaneously pumping them. Basically, how that area works is you come down a hill, then it comes up a hill and there's a dip. And unfortunately, that dip is where my property is. Now, there's pictures on this drive as well.
What's the name of the,
So we could look at let's just use the example of puddle. I made it pretty simple there. Yeah, so this is the area across the street, and this is a picture from this morning. This is not
Sorry,
8 Rising,
Sherry.
no worries. So we have 890, which is the property across the street. Their driveway, if you zoom in, I don't know if you can zoom in.
I can see him.
Yeah,
This
the
one.
driveway, all this area, basically, and that street is all tilted towards me. So
Mhm.
no matter how much rain, the water goes that way. When there's excessive rain, the water is definitely going there. And I have another picture on the, let me see what the names are here. Let's see. Oh, that will be better. If you go down, keep going, that, traveling water with pooling opposite side. So right in the darker shade there at the base of the tree, that whole area, nope, the other side. So this is on 890. This is the opposite street, and this is closer to 5 Rising Corner on the Southwick side. That whole area fills up with water and basically just runs across the street, and that's what actually froze. And so DPW said, you need to do something. So they asked me to run a pipe under my driveway closer to Connecticut. But before I did that, they were pumping water into that and it was still not enough. So the next proposal came to, well, there's a stream down that way, cut a ditch so there's no more accidents, basically. This was a emergency response to the situation. So I cut that ditch and the water ran off. And since then, we've had no flooding in the street. So it works. Why I have dirt pushed up against that area right now is to create almost a funnel. So anytime, and the reason I have an issue with your sediment complaint, I understand what it looks like, but here's an example of up the street. So this is, you can pass these around. This is the DPW did this, and this is up the street from me, coming from the Southwick side. That looks like sediment degradation. I'll show you a picture of my little sediment runoff. I think, actually, it'll be on there. It's called,
What's here?
I think it's called Beautiful Drainage. I just called it that for
Beautiful
easier
path.
reference.
This is a wetland.
Beautiful path.
No. Okay, so that,
So this is how the water, basically, why I have an issue with sediment is it doesn't run from there. I don't have a path of high to low. I have a path of, as it rises, it exits at the lowest point of my property. So I've designed it that way so that there isn't sediment. And on that street there, the whole winter, there was no sediment path. There was no sand in the street ever. Unlike the opposite, what I'm showing you there. So I designed it that way with the cooperation of Randy. Him and I were on the phone many, many times. He came out and looked at my property. We have essentially, the future plan is going to be to fill this area here with 3/4 stone and top it off with riprap so that any sediment does travel, it'll get caught in there. But my whole goal is anytime it gets to the street level, it will empty out at this lowest point.
Mhm.
The goal, and the issue I have with categorizing that as wetland is if I leave it alone, and let's say I fill up, example, I think picture number 2, if I fill that back up, the next colossal storm we have again, all that water is gonna be on the street again, and Randy's gonna be calling me or Agawam's gonna be calling me saying, you gotta do something about this. Now, most of that area, and the example of that drainage too, they could put something like that in. I welcome it. I told Randy, hey, Randy, I want that, I don't want what I'm doing. I want that. And he said, well, let's try your method first, right? Because of the money I've spent. And I told him, I don't mind spending the thousands of dollars for the rocks, the excavation, the riprap. I just want, first of all, no more accidents on my street. And second of all, I don't want more issues for, this whole area. I don't want sediment. I understand the issue with the going into the stream. I understand that that's detrimental to, whatever else. You know, and I see it up the street from me, so I know I'm not the only example of this on my street. I want to prevent it as much as I can, so that's my goal with the quarter stone and the riprap.
They redid this whole thing. This was all grass. This is a grassy swale. This got few years ago because it was a problem. They planted that. That was a grassy swale. I don't know how that got washed out like that.
Well, like I
That's
said,
what-
we've had
That's the
torrential.
best ideal is to have a grassy swale there.
That's,
Maybe
But
the
what you got
salt
proposed also would work. So I think that there is a solution is there and you just
Yeah.
have to do it.
that's
all.
my solution. I want to do
We
it.
don't want to stop the water. We welcome the water.
Yeah,
Just now.
we don't want to listen.
Clean water.
I agree. And that's my goal.
If you're
Right.
working with Randy, that's.
Yep, I'm working with Randy. We
Okay.
basically have a plan to have it essentially as soon as it comes off the road. It rises to the elevation of coming off the edge. It goes to the stream. There's no standing water and there's no issue with it sitting on the road, freezing over and causing
it's
accidents.
Not a wetland. I don't think it'll turn into a wetland, but.
I don't think it'll turn wetland too. I mean,
Want to make sure what goes into the wetland.
Right.
is Nice.
I've had
there.
numerous people come by and tell me, well, you don't have any wetland vegetation here. So that to me is just like, but more than anything, that accident is the reason.
But you think it's wetland?
So DEP went by on the Agawam side where the actual water is, and they think it's isolated land subject to flooding.
That's very difficult to prove that.
Mm.
It's gotta be.
And I have some, yeah, I mean, this is I pulled from Southwick GIS. This is what I pulled from Agawam's GIS. It clearly indicates where the wetland is, which is why I put the driveway where I put it. Because when I did the driveway August 2021, it was dry. It was bone dry till November. And to this day, it's bone dry till November to April. And this is a perfect, your pictures 1 through 3. Example of November to April, we have that water. Is it standing? Well, it depends on the amount of rain.
I think it's a
I've had it be dry in the winter.
glorified drainage ditch and like I say, the grassy swale is the best, but if you wanna do the stone and
Rock.
riprap, that's a alternative also.
I took a walk through there while that was flowing and it was full, and before a lot of that fill was put in.
Yep.
On the Agawam side, and I drove through there every day in a vehicle that was kind of high up in the air. So I had sort of the bird's eye view, and then I walked it. That, to me, appeared as though the water went the other way naturally until the driveways were put there. And you
Right.
dug a trench,
Oh.
and now the water goes
Oh, for sure.
on the road and caused that huge icy
For
berm.
sure.
That
I
was
wish
a mess.
you came up my driveway because then you could see that the driveway the biggest problem of all this is the easiest escape route for this water would be to go to Connecticut. I've tried to talk to Connecticut. They're just like, this is an Agawam problem.
Pipes were dropped in before the
Right.
driveway was put there.
The
water
Connecticut
was
driveway.
Still, both driveways would need a pipe.
Right,
And when I was there, water was perking out on the Connecticut side.
right, on both sides.
Furthest,
Yep.
water was coming out of the ground. But you can see a swale that goes down.
That goes down into
Where
Where it used to
Connecticut.
go.
Where it used to go, and the
Right.
driveways are clogging it up.
Right.
So it did
Right.
create the problem. There's no,
The driveways
he's
are
not
clogging
arguing
it.
about that.
Oh, I'm not at all. What
Right.
I'm trying to do is propose a solution to the water.
So would not the water be best to go back where it naturally went?
Not when it pools, do major storming, then it goes in the street, and because of how the street was designed, I talked to Randy, I said, is the option of redesigning, re-engineering the street to give it higher elevation, to cause it to have basically up top, not a pit, a top. He said, that's out of the question, that kind of money will not be spent on this, considering it's Southwick, literally 300 feet of Agawam, and immediately Connecticut, 700 feet, and back to Agawam. No 3 towns are gonna work together to do that. So basically, he's like, this is a fix, this is a solution. Let's see if this works. And since that January incident, it's worked. And that's essentially why I'm here. I want to explain what's happening, because I feel like, just like you, a lot of people drive by and they're like, oh, this is crazy. I agree. Luckily, I have an excavator, and it's literally just like my farm use excavator. But because of that, I didn't have to have, Randy redesign the whole drainage area there. And I prefer it because I know that whole front portion of my property belongs to the town, all 3 towns, actually, please take it, give me drainage, alleviate my headache. Will that happen?
Mhm.
And I think like on College Highway, we had that problem with the steep elevation that was, it was a major problem for a while. Once the construction is done and the lawn is established, you're not gonna have that.
That's my
issue
goal,
with the
and
silt.
especially with the rocks, it'll be a and it's really ugly, and that's another thing, I think picture this one, like, that's hideous to me, I really hate how it looks. This is all gonna disappear, and, just my example of picture 2 here. Once the growth starts coming back, this will all be green with a little bit of riprap rocks, it'll look good, it'll function, and hopefully no more accidents.
You have Randy's approval, I think that would be,
Yeah, we can just monitor.
Yeah, no problem.
keep an eye on it.
I don't mind you guys calling me back and talking to me. That's.
Appreciate you coming in.
I wanna fix this. I told Randy, I told, Mario over in Agawam, please give me rocks, give me piping, run the ditches. And they're like, "No, let's just
So
try
you can't run a pipe across the other driveway
Connecticut.
on the Connecticut side?
They, actually, the
That's
owner
where- I
will
mean,
not.
that's where the water used to
Yes,
go, right?
yes.
I mean, so
The
why
owner
can't it continue
refuses.
to go?
The owner was furious when Agawam was pumping it because once you get it over this hump, Connecticut actually has drainage at the base of that, drive, drainage into their stream. And this example is the wetland here, all of this wetland here, and the road kind of runs right here. So
Right.
I said, please, let me, and he was furious that Agawam ran just a hose over his driveway, so. I don't want to cause any more issues with my neighbors.
Mhm.
Same thing with the neighbor complaint was because when Agawam pumped that majority of that water, they just laid the hoses, basically. They spanned them out like that and it ran over his yard, so he came home probably, saw this mountain of water coming off of, down his front yard, obviously reacted, which
Yeah,
is right to do so.
understandable.
Yeah,
Thank you
understandable.
for coming in and showing your concern and
All right.
bringing this to our attention and, working with us on this.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So did you say you put a culvert underneath your driveway?
I have not put any culverts anywhere yet. And I'll tell you why, because when I put the driveway in, there was no need to. Oddly enough, Mike here, Mike's like, no, don't talk, brought me the initial, so I had to put in big rocks to raise it. And it was dry. He drove in there. So, I mean, you can't get in,
Well, 2021, it was a dry year. So
okay,
I
I
mean-
mean,
land subject to flooding, it wouldn't be flooded that time. I think Randy said he wanted
a
a
culvert pipe
culvert underneath your
under
driveway.
under the Southwick driveway, yes. And that's exactly right. This picture right here demonstrates that. This right here is my driveway.
So this is where your
This
culvert
is,
will be?
this is where my culvert will be. I do plan on putting it there along with the 3/4 and the riprap.
Sure.
My goal is to never have it be trapped on the Agawam side. It can, like I said, the elevation rises and smoothly pours into down the stream.
These,
Just one.
All righty,
Yep, the water will be happy in Southwick. Thank you.
Yep.
I'll be happy to.
all right.
is a silt fence, did you put a silt fence up to prevent the sediment from going down?
So the silt fence is, well, there's no more sediment. You see the pictures, they're dry. I could put a silt fence at the end of my lowest point. I could, not a silt fence. What I was planning on doing is dropping 2 bales and keeping them, hay
That'll be
bales,
fine.
2 of them.
Yeah,
Yep, stake them in, keep them there happy and dry as long as I can, and
yeah, that'll
Come.
filter.
come the water season again, I'll put them there. I have no problem with that.
Mhm.
But I think the rocks will do the job of the silt bales as soon as,
Yeah.
I do that.
Perfect.
All right, thank you for
All right,
coming in.
very good.
Appreciate
You want pictures? Can I take them?
Yeah.
Take that.
All right, I worked so
Souvenirs.
hard.
it. Appreciate
Thank you so
that.
much.
Do you want these back?
Sure, I'll take them. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, North Pond Conservation Area, we're gonna discuss the possible hazardous trees.
You
Right here.
have.
A letter from
Yes,
the chief
you got it. You want to,
asking us the progress of
yeah.
where we are on that. And Sabrina did a whole video last year. Was it last year? Or the year before?
I had a video and I also did a PowerPoint presentation.
Anybody file any paperwork on that? Didn't we ask them to file paperwork? Before any trees were taken down?
Them as far as the police
As
or,
far as the trees coming down on North Pond, to file at least a RDA or something. You have to file something. We made that clear last year, a year ago. Don't come back in and say it's an emergency when you had all year to file for
Okay, so we want the
And with the-
police.
it. If they're gonna cut trees down, what the remediation, where the trees are gonna go, how many they're gonna cut, what the remediation is gonna be for it.
Which ones?
The ones that the kids
It's
don't.
not,
close.
it's not an emergency,
And
it
adults.
goes for 2 years and nobody does anything about it. The way I look at it, and the way the DEP looks at it too.
Okay,
Okay.
vote for Conservation Commission representative for Community Preservation Committee. I'd like to nominate Dennis Clark.
For Kevin and Norm.
Oh,
Who's the nominee?
Dennis,
I'm currently holding that position, so.
Okay.
he's been involved since inception, and he was also the consultant too, unpaid consultant too,
I might
for a
well.
while. Yeah. So this way, we can keep him as an unpaid consultant
Mhm.
still.
Right.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay,
oh.
So how long do you have to, every year, it has to be a new nomination every year?
No, it's just, the position that you filled, Dave McWilliams, his 3 years was up. So that's why you need
But
that
that's for
nomination.
conservation, not for.
That was also for CPC, I believe.
He wasn't a representative. Was he? No, Dave was,
huh? Dave was,
yeah.
Yeah.
They're confused out there. They wanted me to re-up or
Well, let's
put in
look,
an application to get back on, and I said, I've been appointed by the Conservation Commission. I don't need to do an application, but I do for conservation probably, because I'm not sure when that appointment ran up, and
Dennis
unless
Clark.
somebody tells me, I
Yeah.
won't know when that appointment.
right,
Brian's
so
ready.
I had to put in a new application this year because I'm taking David's place for conservation.
So,
So if they give me
It's
the
up
correct
here.
information, I will
well,
respond.
Dennis, you're for community preservation, you're up on the 30th of June, up here. Or there. So
So
that's,
we have to revote
Every
conservation.
3 years, I guess?
it's every 3,
3
yeah,
years.
so 7 of 21. Or sorry, July of 2021 was the beginning of.
But that's for my conservation
But the-
commission position, not for the CPC.
Yeah, we have to get that a little
We're-
ironed out,
we're
because
in
what
CPC
if
right
your times aren't concurrent, like, they don't end at the same time, so he's not on conservation. He can't be community preservation representative. Still.
I'm not understanding the
Well,
question.
Dave McWilliams was
Right.
the representative,
Yep,
right,
and then,
and then I took his place.
So if you took his place, you would have the same length of term from 21 to 24.
Right.
Just the length
but
of
his
term.
term isn't the same for conservation, is what I'm saying.
Correct, they don't vote, right,
So if his term for conservation ends for
uh,
the CPC thing,
right, then we'd have to find someone else to slide in.
let me
right.
just double check.
Seat stays here.
I think Dennis is up this year as well.
Correct.
When is it? When was
I'll
Brian?
bring up the conservation. So we've got 3,
It says here.
Chris is up, Dennis is up, and Jerry's up.
And
this
when is
year.
that, in June, July or?
It-
August?
June 30th,
June
you're
30th.
up. I think Lisa sent you guys all an email saying, like, state your
Letter of intent.
letter of
She
intent.
did for CPC, but not for conservation.
I got one.
You didn't get one first?
No, I told her that I needed one for
Holy
conservation.
cow, here's
She
his.
said straight down, but
You can't go anywhere.
so
So,
I will put in my letter.
okay.
Dan,
You ain't going anywhere, mister.
here, we
You
have
would
a,
all have to go onto the portal and just put in your application that you want to be
Yep.
Reappointment is not an option, but you just put in you want to be reappointed
Right.
and why, briefly why,
That was like 2 months ago for me,
to
so.
prove that you're not.
That you got the email from
Yeah,
Lisa?
I sent
I
it.
can do that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're still voting on CPC?
Yep.
Yep, let's do that.
okay, motion on the floor, we're gonna vote on Dennis,
I'll second motion.
Okay, we'll do our vote.
Andy, I.
Dennis,
Chris, I.
Jerry, I.
Okay,
so it'll be good for 3 years, so.
well, if you're on conservation,
It gets so confusing,
right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
provided you're appointed, you know.
Correct, exactly. That's
Right,
what we're
that's-
saying. It should be,
there is that, yes.
There's that.
all
Okay,
right.
that's good.
Forest cutting plan, 58 Tannery Road.
Is this the property that's for sale?
It is not. It's the one right next to it.
That's was my question, yeah, to get, but even though it's next to it, it still has a wetland on it that they don't show on the forest cutting plan. Cause I've been out there when they crossed over to do a perk or tried to do a perk. The area that they're entering from Tannery Road,
Hmm,
I believe that that's a wetland area, or it was anyway.
let's have a look. Where's their,
We should have to do a site visit with the forester.
okay. Well, so you're saying. I see some wetlands on the map. So right here, there's a wetland, there'd be a crossing,
Yeah,
so here,
right, but they don't have it on their plan that they're crossing any wetlands.
meaning they don't have like a,
It says over here, any wetland crossings, and they don't. They say none. If they usually put corduroy or
right, the type of,
stream crossing, not stream, wetland crossing, doesn't have anything on there.
okay. So I'll make a note of that to, I'm assuming this is Jake. Well, Jacob is the
Thank you,
state.
Dennis.
Who is
Yeah, that's the full one.
Ross? And then you wanted to do a site visit?
I'm just looking at where it is. Sure. Where I placed it.
Okay.
Okay,
Do any of the service forester comments too, or? What's that? The comment section? Does that have to be?
I don't know
Well,
if it has to be.
Conservation only gets like 21, was it 21 days to comment after the forestry plan is issued, and when was this issued? March 15th. Okay.
Love it.
Around a while.
Yeah. So our comment period is long gone.
You think there's one up here, yeah. Well, there's that.
Have they
The
started?
opposite, it stops right there.
Well, it
Right.
says proposed start date,
That's a lot.
April 9th.
Oh, it goes there. It's on there.
Oh, yeah. It is under there, isn't it? So they just need to add that with how we're gonna cross it.
Horsepower.
Is there a trail up there?
These are their
That's
little
how people
paths that
cross
they
it.
take,
Okay,
skid roads.
there's one of them that's
That's not acceptable.
between.
Downshifting is not an acceptable means of crossing a wetland.
Jake breaks not allowed.
Friendly enforcement order. We
Oh.
talked about that the last meeting, right?
At Noble Steed, yeah.
Did you guys sign it? Did you leave already?
Yes.
Mhm.
There should be
I think I
something
signed it.
that you should have signed, the actual enforcement order.
Mhm.
Did you, do you know if you signed it at all?
Do I have to leave again?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm not, why do you keep on buying these places?
I don't know.
Stay in one place.
Yeah, talking to my other half. She finds them.
Well, the big why.
I just move in and follow. Yeah, yeah.
You just mow the lawn, right?
Not even that, really. All right.
No, she had a sign before the meeting.
Yes, that was something. She said she forgot to have a sign.
Well, one was the executive session.
Right.
The other one was this.
We did some. So I called up to see if we get some bags from the Mass Highway
No,
for the
cleanup.
cleanup,
Nice.
and He said, well, you need to have a permit to clean up the highway.
Oh,
Yeah. We used to get a lot of stuff from Home Depot.
So he, I said, we'll give you a permit and we'll give you some bags too, so.
Nice.
Permit to pick up trash.
Say, come on, we're helping you
I
out.
said, but the trash isn't on the highway, it's on the people's properties. Yeah, we know.
Fantastic.
What day is that?
okay, so,
I spoke with Mark Stinson about friendly enforcement orders with subdivisions, and because this one, we're still waiting on if you guys want to extend it or not.
Well, Monday
He
is actually
suggested
good.
that we do a friendly enforcement order
Right.
for the stormwater
For the,
only.
Only, yeah.
So that way Jesse can work on the stormwater infrastructure now.
right,
So if you guys agree, you can review this and sign it.
Mhm.
It was a little,
Sorry to interrupt. I just forgot my USB stick and
Oh,
oh,
I just have a couple of them and I don't want to
Yeah.
buy a
no
whole new
worries.
batch.
Sorry, I will safely remove it from, I believe it was this
you
one.
just put the spyware in your machine.
Now I'll be able to have privy to all public
People
records.
Plan work.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
To be honest.
They'll have to bring in a suitcase of unmarked twenties, right?
Yeah.
You could drive out there and look down your hill. There's a lot
Exactly.
going on.
okay, so enforcement orders
So,
is good,
do you have to vote on them?
emergency certification.
Another rain comes and. Yeah.
Do you have to vote on the enforcement order, or you just sign it?
Okay.
Um,
Didn't we already vote on it last time?
you can,
Mhm.
we can ratify it right here, take a vote on it, ratify it, and then out of the way.
Let's do it. Make a motion, Dennis.
I make a motion to, ratify the enforcement order.
For 600 College Highway?
For Noble Street.
Noble Steed Crossing.
This one, you don't have to, because I haven't given it to him yet.
But we can still
Okay.
Yeah.
ratify it now, we don't have to wait,
Mm.
get it out of the way.
All right.
Second,
Andy, I.
Dennis, I.
Chris, aye.
Jerry, I.
How's it all?
Righty.
So end of the calendar year is like end of this year?
End of June.
Yeah, fiscal year starts July first. Correct, yes.
Okay, the emergency certification for 600 College Highway.
Do they collapse that culvert when they put in the Rite Aid wall, is what I was told,
They collapse.
that, that goes underneath the gas station. under
Meaning the wall caused the,
That's what, Shabelli told me. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but that's what he told me. He heard that that was the reason that culvert collapsed, so.
let's hope it doesn't do it again.
uh,
Mhm.
Okay,
I don't know how they're gonna get in there, because they're still working on the gas station.
They are.
Right.
They haven't got that done yet.
how long does that take generally, do you know?
The gas station, that should have been done weeks ago. I don't know what happened. They ran into some major snags where they had the crane there, then they took it away, and then they brought it back.
Huh.
It must have, I'm not sure what snag they ran into, but
That didn't cause anything, right? The work there.
It shouldn't have.
well, they,
That's far
they
enough
said they
away from
found,
Max.
they said they found some illicit connections into the culvert. I think the car wash used to,
Oh,
I don't think any of that
Oh.
stuff was still functioning, but they did have some connections. When I first got into town, there were sudsy water going into the brook behind there, so.
mhm. All right.
All right. But I guess that, yeah, the highway department or the, Mass Highway asked for the emergency certification. They're
Yes,
an authorized agency to do that, so.
yes. So they're doing that, and you have a copy in your folder of their paperwork, I have my site inspection first,
Oh, yeah.
and then the next one is the next pages are the emergency certification form. They have a start date of 4/29, end date 5/29. So I went ahead and signed that. And I believe you need to rectify that.
Mhm.
Might have vote.
Make a motion to ratify the emergency certification for 600 College Highway.
Second that.
All in favor?
Andy, I.
And it's like,
Chris, I.
That one.
Jerry, I.
No matter.
Okay. Okay, can anyone make a Memorial Day parade?
It is May 27th.
Andy, no.
Chris, no.
Come on, guys.
I already emailed back. I couldn't.
do we have a float or a car we're gonna ride in, or?
We got the hats.
It's a walk. How far is it? I mean, it's like
It's a walk.
100 yards.
Ouch, my knee.
Yeah.
It is.
Do we have to dress in anything funny?
No. Yeah.
That's a
The
good.
hat, yeah.
All right.
We'll try to
I'll
look at
think on that.
it to see.
Be nice.
Walk along.
We're always away.
Where's it from? The
They say from the,
W?
the summer house, parking lot across from the summer house, and then
Down to the War
down to the
Memorial.
War Memorial
Oh, okay,
Green.
somewhere
So
else.
it's that,
All downhill.
Yeah.
And then and then take vehicles down to the old cemetery and new cemetery.
mhm. And there's a gathering at the American Legion afterwards for
Your pet's
participants and
choice. across
families.
from the summer house, that
Who?
park,
To where?
your pet's choice,
Yeah,
right, that parking lot. You walk down to the Congregational Church,
okay.
and then you drive down. And then they stop in front of the old cemetery. And then they drive to the new cemetery. The second.
You got any of those canoes hanging around still that we had?
Oh, the nice ones behind the ATV.
Yeah.
No, those are all gone. That stuff went away. Those were fantastic. We didn't do it again though.
Yeah.
Sure, that'd be fun.
Okay. All right. So those of you who cannot be great.
It does say, please RSVP
Well,
as soon as possible to this address and or number. The same. It says,
Okay, discussion on dock rental space. We have had an ongoing thing down at, what's the street?
White,
White Street. That's it. Thank
I
you.
saw that on a marketplace. You could rent docks and Southwood.
Yes, so that's,
Is that the Facebook page?
That's the
post that
Facebook post.
Rotundo put on there?
correct. So, Bob Landis did send off something to Chrissy Hops about that, and she didn't think there's a problem with renting. It's under the, 10. Well, not under, it's not under that, but it's under 10, which is, is the, cutoff for having
Oh,
a marina.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
there's less than 10 boats to be rented there, or 10 slips to be rented. And commercial, she doesn't think that fits a description
So
for
it'd be the
what
same,
commercial
if you let
is.
your friends use it,
Mhm.
that's if you
Right.
get money for it.
Well, I guess the bigger
Which they
issue,
probably do anyway, the friends probably.
Right.
If I lend you my car, that's different than if I rent you my car. It's a whole different legal
it
obligation.
is, but it's, I mean, he's gonna make money, but is it?
Right.
Does it fit that definition?
We should see what the Lake Management Committee. has
Well, we
to
already
say
know.
about that.
they already.
They have
say-
something
they say
against
it's
that, right?
illegal,
They don't, they think it's
Yeah.
not legal,
Cause
right?
I,
According to 1.5,
But it-
section 1.
but it's very vague about, and I looked up the definition.
Mhm.
And it is not posted under the state regulations
Mhm.
as far as what commercial is.
Sure, your homeowner's insurance company will have something to say about it.
Does that fall
Taking
under
on all
chapter
sorts of
91 or is that
liability
LPP?
On a commercial
Well,
level.
the other thing is the
Part-
parking
The
on
part
that
they wanna
street
rent.
is the other issue. There is
It's
no
an
parking on
LPP
that
dock.
street.
Right.
It's an LPP dock?
So
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
they.
that would be the bigger issue, which is falling under our jurisdiction.
Anyhow,
Right.
$40.
But
Right,
Yep,
so they still have to get a sticker.
They still need the $40 sticker.
There you go.
no, each boat, yeah.
And it doesn't seem right that somebody could be able to advertise.
right, it kind of feels weird.
Well, I mean, it almost seems okay to me, except that at some point you need to have a business license, because now you're offering the goods for sale, or rent, or lease.
Well,
So you'd have to
that
somehow
was
have a
not under
commercial.
our purview either, but I understand.
Still liability on.
We
that.
have a hand in the audience. This is, yeah,
If they apply for a dock permit in March or April for one boat, but then they're gonna rent it for 6, how do you catch that?
Hmm.
Or do you make them get it for 6 and pay for 6, whether they rent it or not?
It's a good point.
no, we can't make them do that. What we would make them, as boats joined, they would have to be permitted as they come in.
The only way I think we know is if
Yeah.
Norm does,
Norm,
or
we
Norm
we
or
do,
somebody
we do
does
survey the lake
survey.
2 or 3 different
Spot
times throughout the
checks.
season, and that would be on the hit list of what
And it
will.
would be hit or miss. whether
Yeah.
they're
Right.
on the-
Right, if they're
They have
there
to
or
be
not
out at
there.
the same
I think we need a legal opinion on that.
Well, and that's, I think Dick is asking
Yeah,
for town council to give
Yeah,
and
opinion on that
I
as
did
well.
send out an email, CC'd you and Norm, Landis,
Mhm.
Nadine, I think Lisa, and I asked them if
Oh,
we
you're
could
the one
have,
that asked,
so
yes.
I asked if we could have some legal advice from council, and I haven't gotten anything back from them, but at least I asked.
Right.
Yep.
But as far as the state considers it as a non-issue,
Yeah,
because I think it was a chapter 91 doc, they wouldn't care.
No.
The chapter 91 doc would be carrying like liability insurance and all that
Mhm.
stuff, wouldn't
I don't think so.
Not always.
it? No,
exactly.
Homeowners.
Yeah,
right?
Mine's under my homeowner.
Okay,
all right. And, LPP is based on the chapter 91 regs.
yeah,
Well, get an opinion from,
Yeah.
what's her name?
Chrissy?
Well, we did get an
We did.
opinion from Chrissy. She said it's not a
Oh,
problem.
Chrissy's the one who gave you the.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I called.
Yeah. Okay,
You're up.
discussion of interactive trail at the Sofinowski property. I'm talking about signage and story walks or,
Things are about to get real.
yeah.
Okay, no, I'm kidding. This probably won't take too long.
I
So
love
my
it.
magnum opus of this entire internship has been working on, well, firstly researching something called Shinrin Yoku, which is Japanese for forest bathing, which
yeah.
which essentially
I didn't
means
know.
nobody's like actually bathing. It refers to like going on a long, usually multi-hour walk through the woods or some form of nature, whether in a local area like Sofinowski or like some kind of urban park. And just taking in your senses, what you feel, what you can smell, what you can see, etc.
Mhm.
And so my plan is to put up signs on a trail in Sofinowski to encourage people to participate in this strategy. So I have a very rough map here. We did a brief tour, me and Sabrina, a couple days ago. And I marked in pink the path that the signs that I would put up
Okay.
would be around.
Are they interpretive signs? That interprets the things in you're looking at?
Yes, I actually, mind you, I'm not an artist. But I drew up a very rough draft of what one might look like. In this case, it's about the pileated woodpecker.
Oh, yeah.
It gives details about what it looks like, what it sounds like, etc.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's perfect.
high ground.
No, I know where it
I
is.
made
Yeah.
sure that
didn't
it
know
wasn't
it was
on this side.
Right, yeah. I love
Cool.
Oh, for the.
But
Interpretive
it.
signs.
I love it. I mean, this is something that I'd like to see in all of
North
our
Pond,
areas. We
yeah,
talked about this at
looking for
North
that,
Pond
for
as
example.
well,
Yeah,
when we first acquired North Pond, of having those
You
kind of
actually have
things
a
along the
grant for
trail.
that too, so.
Yeah,
even better.
so, yeah, I mean, that's
Only other
perfect.
thing I have for you, the design I put there, what I was thinking, roughly the size of like speed limit sign, maybe a little smaller. I don't have the exact numbers, but that was the idea. And we would put them on like the already existing trail markers
Mhm, mhm.
on the trail. And if there isn't one in an area, we might just put it on a tree.
Mhm.
And on the map, I marked this bridge. For example, with this bridge, I might point something out about the brook, the brook there.
Right,
So you get the general idea.
Turtles,
Yeah.
frogs.
Yeah,
You have to be careful about putting it on trees, though, that's kind of frowned
Yeah,
upon.
well,
Things
They have
on the
placards
trees, so.
at the base of certain trees, like at Wickham Park in Manchester. You walk through there and they'll tell you what that tree is. You know, the Latin term and then the American term or whatever. And it's informative as people walk through, they,
Yeah.
spruce tree, that's it.
yeah, right.
Great
But
idea.
it's usually cute on the ground, you know?
Right.
And then snow.
Yeah.
You gotta check it every
You
year.
get it installed.
But that's another way of, highlighting the cool things they see as they walk through.
Postal deer, dude.
and I think the key thing that I read multiple books about this, and the key thing that they drive home drove home, excuse me, is that this is the key to like achieving relaxation, our increase of the stressful and urban society. This helps us reconnect to nature because for the history of our human race, we've always been so close to nature. Now we're not. So this is, in my opinion, one of the most important things we could do on the property and in the town in general.
I
Yeah,
agree.
that would work well. And I've been out on nature walks with seniors and it's like a road race. They're just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, come on, slow down and enjoy. you
Yeah,
know, look at the
stop and
stuff
smell
around you."
roses kind of
If
thing.
you had some signs there, it would kind of force them to do that,
Yeah.
so that would be cool.
So Lucas's last day is the 20th of May.
Well, for the school, you can stick around.
I might come back, you never know.
But we don't know. So, do we have the okay for him to like move forward? Because our next meeting is on the 20th.
Mhm.
And we won't have him after that. I'm just
Yeah.
assuming we won't have him after that. Just a
I-
safe thing.
I won't be part of Conservation Commission, but I'll still be around at least till late August. So I'll be more than willing to keep working on it with you.
That'd be great.
So you wanna keep working on it and like finalize a plan,
Yeah,
take your time, or we can
Mhm.
just whack it out.
I mean, that depends. What do you mean by fleshing out?
It'll be nice.
It will
But
be nice.
If
That's
you're
the
available,
goal.
if you're available, then okay, cause I know that I was a little nervous about the time crunch. So, but yes, okay. You promise?
Yes, I'll be around. There's like a period in June I won't be, like a couple weeks, but besides that,
Mhm.
I'm here.
Okay.
Super.
All right, great.
Thank you, Lucas.
Of course.
All right, we already discussed the CRC,
Yep.
Noble Steed subdivision,
So we got,
extension on the order conditions.
we did get some, information back from DEP. Jesse needs a 4-1 water quality, certificate, so they are working on that now.
Okay. Request for permission to access we still doing that one?
Yeah, I still haven't followed up with it, so that's why it's there.
Okay.
Okay, and
Greenville
there's no update.
Gorge Kiosk Roof still on hold?
Uh,
Did somebody contact Brian?
I tried to,
Okay,
Tough guy to get in touch with.
all right.
he means well, though.
North Pond Conservation Property Recyclables update.
So, I emailed Dominique, the mother
Mhm.
of the Girl Scout
Mhm.
a while ago, and she finally got back to me, and she said that she was actually waiting on what materials you guys wanted to approve for the bin, I assume. So we had been waiting on what materials you will all approve at the parking lot. And then they had some action steps to take after that. So they are waiting for something from you
Yeah,
guys.
they'd given us a couple options, but then didn't we decide just to use whatever you
Yeah,
have available to you and then
Yeah,
So give
present
them-
something to us
present
that
it?
works, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
that's-
you-
We're not
I
gonna
think that's
choose,
where we
we're not
left
gonna
off on
make the
that.
decision.
Okay, so I'll tell them to think of something and then
Yeah.
come back and present.
Yeah, they don't have to just, we've already approved the project.
Yeah.
They just let us know. I don't think we have to vote on it or they don't have to present it.
Okay, so just inform us.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Discussion on docs not completely, we just tabled that for Norm. Noble Steed update.
It's just in general, he, from my understanding, is stabilizing the slope over on the open space part, the most eastern part of the property. And he's been working closely with John Goddard and Randy Brown with doing some infrastructure there.
Is Jeff still working for him?
Yes,
Oh, good.
yep, yeah.
All right. And our last possible wetland violation, 31 Sam West Road.
No update.
Okay. I don't know.
Oh,
Does anybody else have anything to say? Anybody, comments, concerns?
I don't want.
All right.
Look for motion?
Yep.
Make a motion.
I'll have to write this. Dennis made the motion.
Second,
Wow.
I win again.
Chris, second,
Jerry, I.
Chris, I.
and then 8:57.